what is going on with this collapse? Like at this point, like Babymetal is just collecting these features and collapse like those Infinity Stones, something like that.
All right, speaking of middle schoolers, welcome to Polishing Turds with Nick and Cal. My name is Nick.
And I'm Cal.
And this is the show we take a deep dive into the music. Welcome to our fourth and final episode on Babymetal, the group that I totally can pronounce. I've just been faking it all this time. I know that it sounds weird when I rush the name of the band and say something closer to Baymetal. Which, maybe, when they're older, the kind of Americanized version of this group is just called Baymetal.
Baymetal.
they just got some California sass about them. Like,
I could see that.
They have a whole arc where they...
No, it's not Babymetal. It's a little different.
It's like, it's like they moved to California, grab a
teach them their slang and stuff.
It's like, we're Baymetal. All right. You know what? I want to kind of take I guess a census or whatever, Cal. At this juncture, like 3/4 of the way into this series, what do we think of Babymetal?
I'm going to give the most boring answer. In a way, maybe it's an unpredictable answer out of me. I'm really just neutral on these people.
Yeah.
I'm taking the live and let live stance. Mm-hmm. This band is not and will never be for me. But I don't hate it with the passion of other metalheads.
I have gotten responses from a lot of fans, and at this point, we've cultivated like a very metal heavy audience, just because of the nature of who we are.
Yeah, we're punk and metal guys.
Yeah, and we don't hide that, but like Babymetal clearly touches a nerve with a lot of these guys, and I'm not even going to say that's wrong. There's like, I could understand, where the look what they did to my boy thing comes in. But I'm like you, Cal. I don't necessarily hate it. But I've gone through waves of like actively like liking it to like being pissed off at it for various different reasons that I think we'll get into later.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I feel. The music itself is so confusing. My feelings are confused.
Yeah. Well, throughout this episode, we're going to kind of see the music evolve. And it's going to evolve, in some cases, pretty dramatically. And I'm going to land at where I feel about Babymetal now as we approach the end of this series. And we'll see if perhaps you agree with me. All right. As we mentioned in our last episode, back in 2016, Rob Halford from Judas Priest declared Babymetal to be the future of metal. And I would argue that developments in the intervening years have only vindicated that assertion. For a band that was introduced to the world via YouTube, whose very concept seemed like a prank on the music industry, it is rather astonishing that this group continues to sell out the world's largest performing venues. Just recently, their fifth album, Metal Fourth, became the first album by an all-Japanese group to land in the Billboard Top 10. When you consider the day and age that we live in, where metal is not a dominant genre by any means, it's really only groups like Metallica, Sleep Token, Ghost, if you consider that metal.
It's a very short list.
Yeah, it's a short list of bands that could even pull the kind of numbers that Babymetal do, but they are absolutely in that top tier.
Yeah, I think that's the power of doing something new with a genre.
Yes.
It's, normal people are going to love it because it's new, it's novel. Mm-hmm. And it's only the guys who've been listening to the first 3 Morbid Angel albums on repeat since they came out that are going to really dig their heels in. Yeah. And be like, no, I can't do this.
Exactly. It's same with some people will rave over Demon Slayer, and then some big anime otaku will like just dress you down with a list of 50 reasons it's not even that good.
Fuck you for liking the most popular anime right now. You fucking pleb.
Yeah, I get it. I've been that guy about various other things in my life.
I've totally been that guy.
You know? But I would argue that the true measure of Babymetal's success extends beyond the numbers. They've achieved a level of respect that was once unthinkable for a metal band led by women, let alone Japanese women dancing on stage in cute dresses and singing about chocolate. Indeed, over the past 10 years, these girls have gone from upsetting the metal establishment to arguably becoming the metal establishment. Where once Babymetal went out of their way to pad their street cred by partnering with the likes of Rob Halford and Dragon Force, now the world's top metal bands are trying to do the same by associating with Babymetal.
Soon you're going to see like Babymetal featuring Tool.
Oh my god. No, that
wouldn't.
Honestly,
I could see Babymetal featuring Rammstein. That one seems like it could happen.
Rammstein would be actually a very easy sync. And I think that like Maynard has enough of a troll sensibility about him. This is not beyond we should almost cut that out, Cal, because I feel like you're giving this man a very dangerous idea. So, how did we get to this point? Well, to understand it all, we have to drop back into our timeline and witness how Babymetal continued to shape themselves over the past decade. In March of 2016, Babymetal released their sophomore album, Metal Resistance. This album opens with the aforementioned Dragon Force collab, Road of Resistance, and overall feels like a continuation and refinement of the sound they clumsily established on their debut. However, it's noticeably more consistent than its predecessor, and we're beginning to see some of the kawaii silliness dialed back in favor of a genuine metal sound. So I'm going to play you guys my favorite song from this album. It's called Sis Anger, and it's actually another one of those black Babymetal songs with Yui and Moa on vocals. And honestly, this one might come the closest that Babymetal has or will sound to anything resembling black metal. So
even the mention of black metal on an album that hit any kind of chart, that alone is like an achievement. So if it's even marginally close, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, these guys like I would love to see the sales, the audience reach of this song compared to the entire discography or the entire reach of that Burzum's had in his entire lifetime. All right. Let's check it out.
I would call it technical death metal.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. We're splitting hairs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that, like, just in tone and spirit, that's as intro, hard as these little girls are going to get.
That intro is heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be at home on your average modern death metal record.
Yeah. No, it's like they still got the chops. It's still very well produced. They're really just kind of like just dialing it in. Like there's just not as much like dance track or J-pop type stuff on this record. Like they're not as much of a novelty anymore. They figured out that this can work, and so they're more comfortable being settled into this lane.
Yeah, I think this is the one where they're making a genuine outreach to people who care about the instruments and the song.
Mm-hmm.
There's a much higher degree of musical sophistication here.
For sure.
And it's definitely closer to real metal.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
a song
absolutely.
like that really dissolves the argument that this isn't metal.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And in general, critics and the public agreed, because this was, another like really big commercial hit for Babymetal.
That's the part that's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't think of another instance anywhere where a song with a blast beat in it somehow charted.
Not that song specifically,
Sure.
but this whole album.
Even
like,
okay, I guess an album that heavy though.
oh yeah.
Because even a big band like Metallica, they're not putting in drum beats like that.
No, they're not. And this is like, this is definitely heavier than the average fucking J-pop fan
No,
is
yeah.
ever gonna like, even know it's possible.
Dude, that was heavier than Five Finger Death Punch.
Absolutely. So, just like a little like fun stat line, this album, this is their highest charting album to date. It landed in the Billboard 200 at number 39, which is pretty good considering, again, the type of album that it is.
No, it's really good.
And it is also, fun fact, the highest charting album for a Japanese artist since 1963.
Wow.
Yeah. And keep that fact in mind, because we will be eventually coming back to that little nugget.
It reminds me of the Psy quote from 2 episodes ago, where he was like, I hate this shit, but they are spreading Japanese culture. And I
hate
like
this,
that.
but I'm proud to be Japanese. Yep. Now, by this point, Babymetal were fully aware that their reach extended well beyond their home country. As an acknowledgement of this, the album's closing track, The One, was recorded in both Japanese and English for domestic and international release, respectively. This marks the first time Babymetal would sing a song entirely in English.
How are the English lyrics?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I mean, it's not, what do you want me to say? It's not like
I
Walt
alluded to
Whitman,
it. Yeah.
like it's...
Well, I alluded to it in the very first one that this was my problem with loudness. That one, it has English lyrics, in my opinion, for the worse.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, dude, just sing it in Japanese, because this sounds weird.
I'm, just because I can't let this go, I'm going to look up the lyrics to The One by Babymetal. And why do I have to verify that I'm human for genius.com?
I don't know.
What do they care? No reason why I can't understand it. Open your mind. We can understand it. Please let me know if you know this is the end of the world. Let me know if you know the truth. Looking for our hope. Looking for our dream. We're going to find a way to change. This is our song, one for all. This is our dream, all for one. Please take us to the land of dreams. Yeah. We are the one. Together we are the only one. You are the one. Forever you're the only one.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and really going forward, a lot more of their lyrics are going to be like this. It's going to be, kind of like what I said about the Road of Resistance song. It's like, it's fucking anime ass lyrics where it's just like very generic, like, we are this awesome thing. And when you're traveling around the globe playing to audience as diverse as like 38-year-old guys and 15-year-old girls, the only way to capture all of them at once is to just have
we
shit
all
like this.
realizing our own inner power. Let's just sing about that.
Yeah. And that's like really going to be like the main focus of Babymetal from here on out. But it's important that they know now that they're a global entity and, not just a Japanese phenomenon.
Right. They got to start making toys and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But just when it seemed that the metal resistance was poised to achieve its Fox God-given goal of world domination, a pair of tragedies shook Babymetal to the core and threatened to derail the entire project. First, on December 30th of 2017, Kami band guitarist Mikio Fujioka fell off an observation deck while stargazing, passing away from his injuries a week later. He was just 36 years old.
That's brutal.
Yeah, brutal, man. Now, less tragic, but far more consequential as far as our story is concerned, Scream and Dance member Yui-metal left the group in October of 2018.
And the band ended.
Now,
That's the series, guys.
I mean, it is Cal's official position that he set out at the outset, Yui for life.
Yep.
He's planted his flag there, and we're not going to relent here.
And not only that, I buy into the thesis we were sent that if you were to replace a member, the band ends.
The band, they're not the same.
Yep.
They're not going to be good anymore. It's just a hollow husk of a band.
Yep.
Now, Yui's departure from Babymetal has long been shrouded in mystery. It's a very controversial topic, and to this day, no one knows what really happened, but here are the facts as best as we can gather. So first off, Yui had not been seen with the group for many months, in fact, like almost a year before her departure was formally announced. In May of 2018, Babymetal launched a US tour, and Yui-metal simply wasn't there on stage.
Sure.
The curtain opened, the room went dark, and just Sue and Moa showed up on stage.
I've had that happen, actually. I saw a band, Skeleton Witch, for anyone who cares, and they just came out with no singer, and we're just doing an instrumental set, and we were kind of like, what the fuck? Are they going to explain this? Never explained shit, played their set, left. The funny part is, a little bit later, they announced they had a new singer. So I don't know if we witnessed the start of the end or
Oh my! Was he just backstage
I don't know.
bitching?
I never bothered to look up what the deal was.
That's so funny.
My whole point, those bands can. It's a little different though when you're Babymetal and you do this.
Yeah, when you do that on the stage of the Wembley Arena or whatever the fuck. It's I don't know, and naturally, Babymetal fans being terminally online and very drama prone.
Yeah,
they got up.
Maybe that was a conscious strategy. They're like, let's let the hype gather about this. Let's leave them in mystery.
That's not totally implausible. We know that this group loves to fuck with its own fans. That's what all that lore shit is about. Kobametal loves just tossing random. He's almost like Q from QAnon.
Yeah.
He just tossing these throwaway nuggets out there and just seeing how people interpret them.
Yeah, I don't think it's out there to say he wasn't smart enough to be like, the second I throw out an explanation is the second people stop talking about this.
Yeah. Or and even offering any kind of explanation doesn't end the speculation.
Right.
It just drives people further batshit. But from Sue and Moa's perspective, they got a job to do, So they did it. They performed on stage, and after a little bit of controversy online, the group's American management company told the media that, quote, Yui-metal remains a member of the band, but she is not on the US tour.
Okay. Weird,
but in that same press release, the management company claimed, quote, there is a new narrative for the future of the band which is currently evolving. The storyline has changed.
See that? Yeah, that's it's like WWF wrestling-ifying it.
Yeah. They're writing the script on the go, and they're trying to test the waters, see what works, dip their toes, hedge their bets a little bit. And then they referenced a video that the group had put out, in YouTube a couple of weeks earlier. That video was called Metal Resistance Episode 7, The Revelation. And this video is deeply immersed in Babymetal lore, and as such is cryptic and confusing as fuck. So, Cal, I want to watch this real quick, and we'll try to summarize it if we can.
Dude, the whole first minute and a half of that felt like a parody of this kind of video. It just kept a new sentence kept appearing.
Force of the guiding light. Babymetal transcends time and space. Uniting into a spirit, we becomes the chosen one.
Well, it got weirder and weirder and harder to follow because in the video it comes up one sentence at a time.
Yeah,
and it just makes less sense as you go because it's a guiding light through the metal galaxy. 7 metal spirits, and you're just kind of I don't understand a single thing that's happening.
Do you understand now, Cal, why researching the lore was harder on my brain than researching the Federal Reserve?
Right, because it's barely real.
It's just gobbledygook. It doesn't make any sense. It's just, it drives me absolutely fucking batshit. But like at the end of that video, they hint that like now a dark side of Babymetal will be revealed, and they reference this thing called the Chosen Seven. They show these 7 hooded figures around a circle and shit. And like,
it could mean anything. It could be 7 new songs. It could be 7 new band members.
I mean, it's just like, and of course 7 is like a classic biblical, number to throw out. It's implied that like, oh, now that we're revealing the dark side of Babymetal. And I really think that all of this was just designed to hold space because they didn't know what direction they wanted to take the band after Yui was gone. Because like, even though like she's just scream and dance, like having 2 people as opposed to 3, especially when just one of the members is like dedicated to like the scream and dance position, it's a lot weirder.
You need, I don't know why. It feels like you need the 3.
It's like a tricycle, but you chop off a wheel. You don't redesign it into a bicycle. You just keep it with the one wheel off to the side.
Yeah, I have to only lean left now.
Yeah, So this is the kind of the position that they were in for a little while. Now, in June of 2018, this is just like a month or so after people realized that like Yui just wasn't showing up, the Amuse Talent Agency announced at a shareholders meeting that Yui-metal had been in poor health since December of 2017 and was, quote, currently recovering. Cal, I know you've probably been in positions where you've had to like address like the board of a company or whatever. Imagine like you do that and like the topic of your conversation is the health of a 16-year-old girl.
Oh God, the difference is I do this with inanimate projects and they're doing it with a human being. And they're reporting on her health, like a project that went bad.
Yeah,
crap! It's over budget. It's late.
Yeah, it's like, God damn it, she's got laryngitis.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is pretty common in the idol industry.
Oh, for sure.
Because that lifestyle is just impossible to actually live for a long time and be healthy.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. And to this day, we don't know what her health condition was, or even if like health was the real reason. Because if you just want to get out for any reason, like you cite health problems, like that's what happened to the guy in Imagine Dragons. Like I've seen videos of him. I sincerely doubt he had a serious health problem. He just wanted out of that band for whatever reason.
No, that's
and God bless him. I have no ill will against that at all.
Right.
I have even less against a little girl. She should be allowed to leave for whatever reason she wants at any time.
Yeah, you're staring down another world tour and your brain's just going, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I won't do it. You're going to come up with something.
Yeah, that's a totally rational response. Yep. Or even if she like became a massive heroin addict, like that's totally understandable too.
Yep.
No ill will. But, regardless, like, to the Amuse agency, she was their product.
Yeah.
And their product is in danger from their perspective. Now, in this shareholder meeting, they said that she was currently recovering, but in fact, Yui would never be seen with the group or in public at all ever again.
Do you think she got that one taste of like 1 week of not being in an idol band and was like I can't go back. Shit. I can never go back.
I can be a person again.
Yeah, she goes to the onsen one time, feels some relaxation, is just like, holy fuck, I've screwed up my whole life. I got to get out of here.
I hope so. I legitimately hope that was her life, that she realized, hey, I've made as much money as I'll ever need to make, and wouldn't it be nice to just go take a walk in the park?
Yeah.
Be a real person. So whatever the case, on October 19th, 2018, Babymetal announced for good that Yui had left the band. That same day, Yui herself released a statement through Amuse thanking and apologizing to the fans she had earned throughout her 8 years in Babymetal. The statement acknowledged her poor physical condition, but expressed a desire to someday return to the world as Yui Mizuno. Now, we're not going to read the full statement, but she said that she wants to return, I'll meet you guys again as Yui Mizuno, I think was how the translation goes. And a lot of people interpreted that to mean that she wanted a solo career.
No, I interpret it to mean what you just said. I want to be a real person.
I do too, honestly, because she's never like she's never put out anything as a solo artist. Like there's not a picture of her in public since that happened. So that statement from October of 2018 was the last time anybody heard from or about Yui until actually September 30th of this year. So like barely over a week ago, basically, Muse announced that they released her from their contract.
Okay.
So apparently she was still like under the Muse umbrella, and she finally just got released. So I think that kind of confirms our hunch that she just wants to be a regular person.
Yeah, I'm out of the industry.
And I will say that, like, as near as I can tell, this seems to be a lot more possible to do in Japanese society than our own. I think the Japanese have a very high respect for people's privacy rights. Like she's not being hounded by paparazzi or anything. It seems like society consented to leave, somebody who was like one of the biggest music stars in the country, just completely leave her alone and let her be. That's a really awesome thing.
It is. Wish our society could pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, no fucking way, but it must be nice. Another little interesting tidbit, this kind of came out in more recent years, but we learned that there was a moment in the wake of Yui's departure that the group very nearly disbanded at this point. In particular, Yui-metal questioned if she wanted to keep the project going, and apparently it was Moa that convinced her to stay.
So Moa's the real saving member of the team. And I do agree with what you said last time. I think Sue is the one that if she left, I do think you have a big problem.
If she left, like the whole thing is impossible. Yeah. Because she is that distinctive, and she is charismatic and is able to command like a force around her. Mm-hmm. And everybody in the group, like even the more recent members, have their own personality, and they have quirks about them that the fans get attached to. Like, people will like talk endlessly in Reddit posts about how much, Moa likes this or that kind of food, like just all those little quirks
so
of
weird.
idol fandom. But Sue is the secret sauce to all of it. Mm-hmm. And if she had like put her foot down, then like this series would have ended at Yui's departure. Now for the next few years, Sue and Moa would continue Babymetal as a duo, albeit a duo with some assistance. To help fill Yui's place, the group hired 3 so-called Avengers to perform choreography during concerts and basically rotate in and out of Yui's spot. So I showed you a picture of like all of Babymetal with like all the different Avengers that were tried during this era. You can see that like basically the idea is we're going to test out certain girls and see like
who's close enough.
Who do the fans react to?
Yeah.
Like remember, this is like how a regular Japanese idol group would do it from the get-go. Is like one group member leaves, like, okay, well, tonight we're gonna have this girl perform left center stage, then we're gonna try this girl in left center stage, the next night, and we're gonna have a guy in the back taking notes on like who gets the most cheers from the audience, and that's like just kind of like how they earn their spot in the band. And I think this is essentially what they were doing here. So these so-called Avengers consisted of, to wit, Kano Fujihira, who was another former member of Sakura Gakuin, Ryo Sayashi, who was a member of the popular idol group Morning Musume, and also apparently studied at the same acting school as Yui-metal, and Momoko Okazaki, who was also a former member of Sakura Gakuin, and also happens to be the daughter of a famous Japanese comedian named Hanamaru Hakata.
Ah, old favorite of mine.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Who doesn't remember Hanamaru Hakata? He's the Japanese Adam Sandler. Every movie involves some egregious fart joke and a very racist stereotype against a Polynesian guy.
Lately, he's really been phoning it in. He just plays 2 of the same character.
Every movie.
Yeah, does a bunch of product placement to pay for the whole thing.
And then it ends up, on TBS a month later.
Yep.
Now, spoiler alert, Momoko was eventually named as the 3rd official member of Babymetal, and she has been crowned with the name Momo Metal.
She's actually the one, I think, when I do my very light version of research compared to you. I think she's the one I see the most for whatever reason. She's the one popping up in the YouTube shorts all the time.
You know, I have kind of a theory about that. And, you know, I think fans, like, there was a period where people really missed Yui-metal and people were really mad that she was gone. Like fans would just like relentlessly badger Amuse to like demand answers for what happened to Yui-metal. And there's many.
She just doesn't like you guys. God.
Yeah. Maybe that's the real truth. It's just she just secretly thinks all of her fans are shit and wanted to break their hearts as much as possible. But like, and I feel like there was like almost like a sense of collective guilt that led to a backlash. So like to kind of counter the people that didn't want a new member of the group because they missed Yui so much, there was like a counter rush to embrace Momoko.
Yeah, she's the best. She's
like,
the
no,
best
she's
one.
actually awesome. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And we love her. You're so amazing, Momo. Oh my God, look at this cute thing you did. Oh my God, you're so amazing.
That's what they all are too. It's look at this cute thing she did.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, like, okay, cool. I get it. But like, it does feel maybe a bit like overcompensating to me.
It is. I did like one of it. They asked her favorite metal band, and in her tiny Japanese voice, she mentioned Impaled Rectum.
Yeah.
And I found that funny.
Yeah. Is that a real band?
It is a real band.
Nice.
And just hearing her say, it's like, Impaled Rectum. And it's just so funny.
No, she's got street cred.
Yep.
And she is like actually pretty funny and charismatic in her own right. You know, it's relevant that her dad was a comedian. So she was prepared for this moment, and she's been doing pretty well so far. Now, in the meantime, this is like actually before Momoko actually joins the band. Babymetal were still making music, and their third album, Metal Galaxy, represents yet another attempt to evolve the conception of this group. Basically, the idea of Metal Galaxy is like it's Babymetal meets world music. So
That's a horrifying concept.
this one is out there, man. Like this, this might be like the hardest to like actually listen to. I will say, like, it's more engaging than some of the others just because every song is radically different. Like you'll have some songs that incorporate jazz. You'll have there's a song that incorporates Indian music. There's a Latin flavored song or two. There's a hip hop track. Like it's out there.
Yeah. There was one line you said that hit me, that some of these albums are probably most appreciated by someone who might really not be that into music.
Yeah.
And this feels like it's aimed at that person.
Honestly, yeah.
You need a sound collage to just feel interested in something in the car. Here you go.
Yeah, I mean, if your main exposure to music is some YouTube autoplay that you half listen to while you're playing Fortnite for 12 hours.
Which is a lot of people right now.
Probably most people right now. Like, you know, this is, this might be the album for you.
Yeah.
And then this album also is notable because it features, like, a lot of guest artists, which, admittedly, I've never heard of most of these guys. So this album includes guest appearances by a Thai rapper named F Hero, guitarist Tim Henson and Scott LePage from the Texas band Polyphia.
If you haven't heard them yet, I'm surprised.
I actually have heard them.
Okay, I was going to say, you can't get away from those fuckers.
They're really good. And a Swedish Czech vocalist from the band Sabaton named Joachim Broden, whom I had not heard of before this, Cal. I listened to a little bit of them.
Then you might know I'm laughing.
It's very, like divorced dad watching the History Channel core.
Yeah. You know, we were talking about like power metal distilled. They're another one. It's just, instead of about dragons, it's about World War II shit. And that's all they got.
Yeah. Like I feel like I can read this guy like a book. Yep. This is a guy with like a fucking Under Armour shirt and a Mossy Oak hat. Like, you know, so I mean, hey, it is what it is. But, I want to play you the song that they did with this Joachim Broden guy, and it is called O Magi. And this song is just fucking ridiculous, man. All right. Music to do a beer hall putsch by.
Dude, for those of you who that was your first time, there is a genre called folk metal that exists.
Yeah, not all of it's bad.
No, but there is a lot of it that is unironically supposed to sound like that.
Yeah, I know. All respect to the traditions of the European peoples. It's just not my thing.
No, I've always thought that of like old Bavarian music. Anything where the beat is boom, 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 boom. Not for me. Get that oompa shit out of my face.
So, how many fans do you think they converted among people with like Nordic rune tattoos?
No, it's definitely dumber than that. It is meme kids, I'm sure, is who they converted.
Yeah, that's just like a little taste, of this album, which is all over the place, and I think that's the point. Now, within the lore, the mythology of Babymetal, we're kind of presented with the idea that like what they're doing here, this metal galaxy, they're traveling the world, absorbing bits and pieces from every culture, uniting it into the chosen spirit of the light of the first 7-1 Avenger.
We're going to take your
metal.
shit and make it metal.
Yeah. To me, this is really the jumping off point where Babymetal are really gone beyond their Japanese-ness.
Yeah.
And they're just becoming a global entity.
Big time.
I appreciate the strategy. Like they're winning people over bit by bit. They're trying to have this proverbial big dick energy where they're just conquering the entire planet.
And I kind of like that they know their niche. I mean, the bands that they're partnering with that you listed are all other big YouTube algorithm bands.
Yeah.
Like they know the market. It's who's blowing up on YouTube right now.
Yeah, and it's like who has a specific buzz now, and who has a buzz with an audience that might be receptive to us.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the groups that they collab with, they're groups with like an open-minded enough audience and an open-minded enough approach to music that like Babymetal's not inconceivable.
Yeah, these are all bands the metal establishment already didn't like.
Yeah.
So it fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to catch them collaborating with fucking, I don't know, like Emperor or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be these bands that are big with the kids and are metal adjacent, like Polyphia.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a very conscious strategy. Now, touring for Metal Galaxy wrapped up in early 2020, right around the time that the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and thus Babymetal were forced to slow their roll along with the rest of humanity. From 2020 through most of 2022, Babymetal went on a semi-official hiatus, which of course they explained to their fans in the weirdest, most cryptic way possible.
Yeah, it can't just be a global pandemic. It has to be some cosmic thing. Yeah,
this is another like bit of Babymetal lore. Hey, wake up, babe! New lore just dropped. So on October 10th, 2021, the group released a 6-minute video titled "The One: Stairway to Living Legend."
That makes it all clear. I know what's happening.
You know what I just realized, Cal? Like, these guys can afford people to translate their shit into English that makes sense. They consciously choose not to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, like this, it's
they probably had a focus group
purpose.
Who came in and was like, maybe we should call it something different than Living Legend. Maybe we should like put the indefinite article in the sentence. And they're like, no, fuck that.
No.
Stairway to Living Legend.
No, that's way too straightforward. So the video opens with a caption that reads, "The 3 metal spirits that have been shining since 2010, even if they were to leave Earth, would continue to shine forever in our hearts and across the metal galaxy. A legend turns into a myth, which turns into a living legend." That's in all caps. "What lies ahead beyond the end of the stairway to becoming a living legend is something only the Fox God knows."
I don't know. How did they take like, this is somehow dumber than the ICP lore that we covered.
So it's like, the fucking Ray Malenko's gonna drop his shit on you. He's gonna send you to hell, bro.
Right.
Like, maybe like the ICP at least makes sense.
Yeah, I do love this concept of a metal galaxy. If that was real, I would choose to live in that galaxy.
Yes. Oh, that'd be a very fun galaxy.
But what makes it metal? Is everything made of metal? is everything metal themed?
Everything is made of metal. Like even the water has a very metallic taste to it.
Right, they only have like the upper half of the periodic table. It's all metals.
You're actually going to die of lead poisoning within
No,
very early
I'm
hours
made of lead.
of living in the metal galaxy. But but also it conducts electricity very well.
Yeah,
so
you can drink liquid mercury and be fine.
yeah. So the video then launches into. So this is like kind of where it gets interesting. So you had that like intro where you talk about the myth turning into a living legend, and then it cuts to this scene of Sue and Moa inside an empty stadium, and they perform the song "The One," which, if you remember the lyrics to that, like it's this very like kind of generic if heartfelt, celebration of their fan base and all that they had accomplished.
It would be quite fun if they did the video with no music effects, and it is just that like all you can hear is like the sound of their feet and them being out of breath as they dance around in this empty stadium.
Somewhere there's the audio for
someone has
made
made this.
Yeah, there's just cut out like all the music and shit. That's what I want to hear. So it's them performing that song in an empty stadium, and the video ends with Sue and Moa walking up some sort of cosmic stairway. You might even call it a stairway to heaven. Before fading to black and closing with this caption: "Thank you to our metal resistance. Thank you to our Babymetal. Forever the one." And then it ends.
You would not be incorrect to think that's the end of the band.
Right?
That's how, like, knowing nothing, not even seeing the video, that's how my brain takes it.
Yeah. I mean, just like imagine, like there was I'm assuming like a casting call or like some kind of like, board read through for this like video. Like they must have like, someone must have asked like, are we disbanding? Are we quitting the project?
I'm sure again, Koba knows that if you do this cryptic way, everyone's going to talk. And that's actually all we need if we're in a hiatus, as long as people are still talking about us.
Yeah. No, and that 100% was the game plan. Like they had no intention of quitting. They needed some time to prepare new material and shit to figure out who was going to be the third member of the group. And Koba was just like, all right, let's get
I'll just say something vague and they'll do what they always do.
We'll do something, cryptic, like open-ended, imply that we're leaving, get fans hyped up, make them beg for us to stay, buy more of our merch. Yep. It played out exactly that way.
We're in the wrong business, man.
I know.
Seems like we could be running an idol band.
Is this the last episode of Polishing Turds? Forever the turd. Two guys in a room become a stairway, which becomes a water hose to the living beer hall.
Buy 30 shirts and 20 stickers each to bring us back. We need to feel your collective energy.
We're not going to record another band until you send us $20,000. But while one might be forgiven for thinking that this was meant to signal the end of Babymetal, in fact, the group had no plans to call it quits. And exactly 1 year after the video we just discussed, the group announced the release of their next album, The Other One. It's the other one.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Another one.
The other one. So here is a quote from Babymetal's press release. "Last year, Babymetal were sealed from the world after a successful 10-year journey. In April 2022, the Other One Restoration Project began to recover the Babymetal we never knew existed within a world called the Metalverse. A total of 10 songs have been discovered within the Other One Restoration Project, with each song representing a unique theme based on 10 separate parallel worlds that they have discovered. The upcoming concept album features these all-new tracks for us to experience the other Babymetal story that no one ever knew about."
I was joking when I said that there was some fan who has a parallel universe explanation for how their lore works.
Yeah.
And now there's a literal one in the lore.
Yeah, welcome to the fucking decoding the bullshit of Babymetal lore. And this is a concept album. Like the whole idea is like, here are 10 songs, and in each of these 10 songs, Sue and Moa traveled to a separate universe you know.
That's inspiration, man.
Where
That's
they
how
were-
you know they'll be good.
They were still able to breathe in each of these separate universes, some of which didn't have enough oxygen.
Well, yeah, it's the metal verse, so like they can breathe.
Yeah.
It works somehow. Just trust me on that.
Yeah, it's fine. Now, silly lore aside, I would say that this album, the other one, is objectively Babymetal's best album. It's very consistent and professional, and the difference here is that the kawaii-ness is dialed down to almost zero. So it's the most straightforward metal album they ever made.
Okay.
And oh, by the way, weird side note, because this is a concept album, Babymetal do not consider it their fourth album.
Oh, they're doing one of these deals.
Yeah, it's like, again,
It doesn't count. It's it's the other one.
yeah, like again, like kind of harkening back to ICP, they did this
Yep.
when they had an album that they thought wasn't good enough to be part of the Joker's deck. They just said, "Oh, this is just some other shit that we did."
Yeah.
So that's why they were able to call their subsequent album, which is their fifth album, Metal Fourth.
Okay.
But you know what? To me, the other one is their fourth album. Fuck you. Like, I know how numbers work.
Yeah.
Don't try to,
You put it out, and
fast
it
one on
was
me.
the length of an LP. It counts.
Yep. Now, this is also the first Babymetal release to feature some composition from its own singers. The lead single, Shinjeki Divine Attack, features lyrics that were co-written by Su-metal. Now, not that you or I will be able to understand them, but let's check it out.
騒がしい風が吹く強者たちここに集い心の刃を持って共に誓い共に叫びここから旅を始めよう断たれた逃げ道は破れた静寂は戦う時が来た掲げろこの手をまた
Well, I agree with you. That's my favorite sound so far.
Yeah, for sure.
Now it loses some of the gimmickness. I don't think that would have blown up virally.
Oh, hell no. No, that is no gimme chocolate for sure.
No, but I do appreciate it. It's it'd be understandable if someone didn't know that was Babymetal.
Yeah, no, you could just like, that could just sound like any, typical Japanese metal band. I almost wonder if this album represented a moment where like they just really wanted to be taken seriously. Like, I still think that like they didn't know exactly where they were going at this point, because not only did they lose a member of the band, but they're growing older.
Yeah.
Like they're not cute little girls anymore. Like, these are grown ass women at this point.
And they have to start to wonder, are we an idol band really anymore? We're being run like one, but are you one? Your fan base is a little different here by this point.
Yeah, and what kind of thing do the fans want going forward? Like, are they tired of the novelty of it all? Are they willing to follow us down a lane that's more conceptual, that's like maybe like more compositionally driven? Like, I think this was kind of a test for them. It's kind of hard to gauge like where the fans were at, like, because they rave about everything Babymetal does, but
Right.
but I don't think this like brought them to new heights by any means. So shortly after the other one was released, another bombshell was dropped on the Babymetal community. On April 1st, Fox Day of 2023, longtime Avenger Momoko Okazaki was announced as the official third member of the group.
All right, Momo
Yeah.
Truthers, it's your day. She's part of the band.
I mean, with Cal, it's Yui forever, but with everybody else, it's Momo.
She might
Momo's
win me
the gal.
over. I mean, she's an Impaled Rectum fan.
She is. So, the newly christened Momo Metal had already made her presence felt, and from what it seems has genuinely won over the one. Fans seem particularly attached to her personality and humor, and by the fact that she's the only member of the group that can do a real metal growl. You can hear an example of Momo's growling in the recent single Song 3. Yeah, so, not bad.
Yeah, and again, for those of you who don't know, growling's kind of a big deal in metal.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people hate the growl. I think it's probably the biggest barrier to metal.
Yeah.
But once you're used to it, that's how it's supposed to sound.
No, I can appreciate a growl. Actually, I think what I like is like the half growl, like Chuck from Death.
Yeah, like all the metalcore guys
or
do.
Or like the guy from Dystopia, like the ones that can like just go like halfway and have like just like a really aching raspy voice.
Yeah, like a crypt keeper more than a caveman.
Yeah, like I appreciate that in metal, but
I do too. I like when Chuck's a good example. He had an unreal voice. Mm-hmm. How you sound like that but still make it understandable.
Yeah.
That's hard.
No, it's deeply impressive. And don't expect Momo to growl her way through songs like that. But she I think when they pitched this idea to like three little girls in a school idol group, like it was it was a hard sell to get them to do metal.
I'm gonna need you to go a bunch of times, okay?
But like if you're trying to find a third member, you have a little bit of an advantage in that people know the concept up front. So now you're just trying to find the girl who can be most, metal, and Momo fit the bill. So good for her. Now that song was called Song 3, and
it's the sequel to Song 2 by Bush.
Actually, it's the sequel to Song 4 off of the first album. Yeah, so there's okay.
Oh, so are they eventually going to make a 2, a 1, and then like a liftoff song, or how do we do this?
Don't give them ideas, Cal. So I feel stupid even talking about this, but so Song 4 was off of the first album. That was another Black Babymetal song, and it was all about the number 4.
Okay.
Like, which apparently the number 4 is considered unlucky in Japan, the way that like 13 is in the Western world.
Okay.
So they wrote this song about the number 4, and then this song is Song 3, and apparently it's like the number that is associated with Momo Metal. Like, because she was born on March 3rd of 2003, 333.
Okay.
And like there are multiple YouTube videos dedicated to the subject of associating Momo Metal with the number 3. Like,
I mean, it's half the number of the beast, so I get it.
No, it's a nice number. Her dad was a comedian. Comedy comes in threes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's well aware of the power of 3. But yeah, no, someday they should do a song too. It should be a cover of the Blur song. Woohoo! I get my head checked. That's legitimately
I kind of want that now.
Yeah. And then after Song 1, that is when Babymetal released their own tactical nuclear device. So what you just heard was the 4th single off of Babymetal's 5th album, Metal 4th. An album which my partner proudly owns on vinyl.
Yeah. Oh man, I love how one of our traditions has become crapping up each other's collections.
Yeah, I bought Cal the new Babymetal album as a gag birthday gift. And I did the same thing with Imagine Dragons a year ago. So,
and I listen to them both every day.
Yes. He'll act like
my day is not completed until I spin an Imagine Dragons at least once.
Yeah, he won't even talk to his wife unless he's heard Imagine
I rush home, I shove the kids aside, turn that on.
You hold a blanket over your head and cry.
Nope.
Now, you couldn't tell that from the clip we just played, but that song actually featured a guest artist, to wit, the Russian deathcore band Slaughter to Prevail.
One of those big masked metal bands I was speaking of in episode 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get big in metal right now.
You gotta have a costume.
Yeah, you have a costume and you have some kind of lore, and that's how you do it.
No, and you were telling me during the break that this guy's gimmick is pounding the microphone into his forehead.
Yeah, he goes by Ivan the Terrible. And I don't know if he's terrible in real life, but on stage he's supposed to be like a berserker man.
Well, he's going to have a terrible case of CT at some point.
Yes.
Now, that is not the only collaboration on Metal Fourth. In fact, 7 of the album's 10 tracks feature some kind of guest artist. Participants include the likes of Poppy, Spiritbox, Bloodywood, Electric Callboy, and Tom Morello.
That's the weird one to me.
I know.
But no, this fits what we just said earlier of you pick the YouTube algorithm popular metal adjacent bands.
Yeah. Again, like these guys know what they're doing. Like that's a lot of names, but like all of those guys are doing something a little bit different. Mm-hmm. You know, like Poppy, like she's really interesting. She's done like pop music mixed with metal music in ways that like kind of only make sense when you listen to it. You know, Bloodywood are a really unique band that they're incorporating Indian folk metal with Indian folk with metal. You know, like Tom Morello, I think is just being a troll and you know doing it because like
I'm bored.
Yeah, he's bored. You know what else is he got going on? And you know who doesn't want to check for $100,000 or whatever he got? You know. And so this is the game plan for Babymetal right now is like they're just going to do as many collabs and try to worm their way into the playlists of all of the fans of those bands.
Yep.
It's like the most 2025 way to do an album. Now, I won't go so far as to call Metal Fourth a bad album, but it's probably my least favorite album in the Babymetal canon. With all these different guest collaborations, to me it just lacks a solid identity and on the whole, just kind of feels low effort.
And I think we're also getting into like peak overproduction.
Yeah.
There's something about this to me that feels very 2025.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm old. I don't like it. I like the naive experimentation of the early shit more.
I honestly agree with that, Cal. And, you know, Babymetal were never really like rough around the edges. But with this one, like it is like produced to the point where like, it's a little too slick.
Yeah, it feels off to me. Like that 3 song's a great example.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even put my finger on it. It's just something about it is disjointed and soulless to me.
Yeah. Like I just feel like a song, it should be possible to play that, you know, in a garage with 3 or 4 instruments.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I know. Like I'm sounding like a real old man even mentioning that, but you know, a song to me has to feel grounded in something.
That is what it is. You summed it up. Is this possible to even play if you wanted to cover it?
Yeah.
And a song like that? No, it isn't.
Mm-hmm. But to me, the most salient thing about Metal Fourth is the fact that Babymetal were able to rack up so many collabs like Pokemon in their proverbial Pokedex. And I guarantee that for every artist that ended up working with Babymetal, there were dozens more that would crawl through glass for the opportunity to do so. Indeed, 10 years after crashing the gates of the Metal Kingdom, Babymetal find themselves on the throne, and everybody wants to kiss the ring. In addition to the collabs we just mentioned, Babymetal have worked with the likes of artists as diverse as Skrillex, Lil Uzi Vert, and Bring Me the Horizon. Artists that have associated with them or publicly sung their praises include Slipknot, Rob Zombie, Rob Halford, Korn, Metallica, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and many more. Like, this is another thing where you could find whole videos talking about how this or that artist talks about how much they like Babymetal. Like, it's like...
Well, and I get it, because from their perspective, you know, there has-beens looking at it through a business lens.
Mm-hmm.
And Babymetal's great. And from that point of view, it's, you found something that's resonating with people again.
Yeah, because they've seen so many artists come and go, and so many artists like just like lazily imitate them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that like it's got to be hard to find something truly fresh in that scene, and they know it when they see it, and they know a good performance when they see it too, and good production when they hear it. So it's not surprising that these guys would respect Babymetal. Like, but
it's only surprising if you think Rob Zombie goes to bed as Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
I think that's like the only people that should be surprised.
Yeah. Where it gets like kind of like interesting to me is that, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it just feels like they're going out of their way to like almost pander to the Babymetal fans that like, hey, like I'm cool too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like without me, these guys wouldn't be possible. You know, like
it could be that, man.
You know, like kind of like certain bands did that when Nirvana got big. The Ramones tried to like take credit, but justifiably, you know, they deserved credit for Nirvana, but like they tried to like kind of get themselves out there and be like, hey, you know, like I'm a part of this too.
Yeah.
You know,
if you like that, how about me?
Exactly. You know, and that was, I think, Nirvana's best contribution to music overall. And we might end up someday saying the same thing about Babymetal. But for me personally, there was one collab that jumped the shark. An association so embarrassing that it kind of changed the way I think about Babymetal. And this is something that happened recently, within the time that we've been producing this series, which is admittedly a long fucking time.
Yeah, my bad.
No, but on September 5th, 2025, Babymetal announced the release of a song called The End, a collaboration with none other than Five Finger Death Punch.
No! So the whole music video is AI. I have no idea why you wouldn't just make the whole song be done with AI, because that sounded like every Five Finger Death Punch song I've ever heard.
I mean, for fuck's sake, for all we know, it is Cal. That song could have been any Five Finger Death Punch song from the past 5 years, and Ivan Moody just goes out with a new set of lyrics like over and over until it's over.
I can't believe that was unironically in the song. Over and over until it's over.
That is lazy even by his standards.
It really is, man.
It's like, I mean, I guess like, you know, I'll give Babymetal a pass because they don't understand English enough to know how much this guy's lyrics suck, maybe. But like, you know, Ivan, shame on you. You're not going to resuscitate your own dying career by partnering with Babymetal. Fuck you.
Especially when you tell him too, you need to basically make this a Five Finger song.
Yeah.
Like, you get one verse.
Yeah. Which, okay. You know, for the 5 people on Earth that like that song really spoke to them, and you know they're gonna go try to make amends with their wife because they heard that song, you know, in the middle of the night. You know, like, God bless you. Good luck on your 7th rehab. Now I know I'm probably being too harsh, but it was hard for me to look at Babymetal the same after teaming up with a band I hate as much as Five Finger Death Punch. I guess it serves as a reminder that for all the novelty this group brings to the table, for all the talent of its members and the creativity of its presentation, at the end of the day, Babymetal are not a band as much as they are a brand. The purpose of their metal resistance is as opportunistic and profit-driven as that of any idol group dreamed up in any Tokyo boardroom. And that's not an insult, just a statement of fact.
For real. If that makes you mad, we're not saying you have to not like them now.
Yeah.
You do you, but they are an idol group.
I've already pissed off people by saying that they're an idol group. Like, you know, one person like wouldn't even listen to the first episode of this series because like that's not relevant to Babymetal. Like talking about idols, like no, it's directly relevant.
It is exactly relevant
to everything about Babymetal. This is not high artistry. This is not Yes or Rush.
I think when people say that shit too, they're taking that extra interpretation of you saying that means I can't like it.
Yeah, and we're not saying that.
Yep.
Like, it's just like, but it is a product at the end of the day.
Yep.
And like, it can be good. It can have very good musical moments, but the goal of this at the end of the day is to make money.
Yep.
Furthermore, and this just might be a me thing, you guys can reply in the comments what you think. But to me, it feels like the march of time and the expansion of Babymetal's reach have corresponded with a softening or dilution of some of the things that made this group unique in the first place. Now, we've already mentioned that, like, over time, they kind of dial back the kawaii-ness on their albums, and that makes sense. They're you can't be
they're growing up.
You can't be kawaii when you're 25.
It's just like how punk groups have to mellow out.
Exactly. But they're also kind of moving a little bit away from the lore angle, it seems, which on the one hand, good.
Yeah.
Because that shit's annoying. But also, like, a lot of fans, I think, really like all that stuff, so it takes away a little bit of the edge that they have. But most importantly, I think, to me, it seems like Babymetal, in 2025 is less uniquely Japanese than they were at the beginning. They've got a lot more songs with English lyrics, English titles, collaborating with English speaking artists. And the things that they present and talk about are so generic that they could apply to any culture, any person, anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's the tragedy and the end game of, like, all musicians.
Yeah.
To keep continuously bring in a bigger and bigger audience, you need to get less and less polarizing, and therefore less and less interesting.
Yeah. It's the same thing happening with the movie industry. It's like, That's why you see so many Marvel movies, is because how are you going to create a thing that not only appeals to the lowest common denominator in America? That's hard enough.
Yep.
But you got to do like that and China as well. Like, you got to make a thing that people in Shanghai and Kansas can look at and get the same thing out of at the end of the day. And that's going to be impossible unless it's just like fucking people flying through buildings and shit.
Yeah, it's something as universal as, like, you like power fantasies, right?
Yeah.
It has to be that universal.
Mm-hmm. Like, so that's essentially what I think we're dealing with a little bit with Babymetal. And kind of as an anecdotal example of this, you guys might remember that at the end of episode 3, I shouted out a guy named Yui-metal. Now, Yui-metal was the Redditor that was translating Babymetal lyrics from Japanese into English and translating the Kamishibai videos from Japanese to English. And he, again, I gotta just shout this guy out. He did a terrific job of explaining all the little concepts in Japanese language and culture and all the nuances in a way that makes sense to English speakers. Like, it was really essential research for me doing this series. Well, if you go to his website, you'll notice that he stops translating lyrics after the second album. And he actually directly says that this is because their lyrics have less of a Japanese quality to them, and less like uniquely Japanese concepts, and he feels like there's no point in doing the exercise anymore. And to me, that's just very telling.
Yeah, it is. If you're a fan who's in denial about this, I challenge you, just go back, listen to a song like Ine or Doki Doki Morning
or Migitsune, like that,
and then go listen to The End. And you're gonna sit and try and tell me that they're just as interesting as they used to be. Like, come on, let's be real.
Absolutely. But all that said, I'd like to end this series on a positive note, because I truly feel that on balance, Babymetal have been a good thing for both metal and the music industry more broadly.
Good for metal, I don't know.
Let me
hear you out.
Let me make the case here. Now, for one thing, they've brought the very concept of metal to a lot of J-pop / anime / weeaboo type people that otherwise might never have heard it, or at least if they had, would never have taken it seriously. And they've also just like exposed metal to young people
Yes.
at a time when typically Cal and I are like on the younger end of most metal fans.
Yes, I have directly seen this. I have literally had a younger person come up to me and tell me excitedly that they saw Babymetal
Yeah.
because they know I like metal. And I know I was not a dick about it. I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
It's like, oh, it's like, you know, it's like telling a 5-year-old that their painting is good. It's like, oh, good for you.
No, actually, I talked to him about the thesis you just said.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, it's crazy. It's getting people back into it."
Yeah.
It gave me a chance to give him some shit I thought he should check out.
Oh, for sure. You know, it's you know, and I've seen the same thing with punk. Like, you get 100 people into Green Day, maybe 10 of them go on to NoFX, and of the 10 NoFX fans, maybe 5 like Black Flag, and out of the Black Flag fans, maybe 1 likes Crass.
Yeah,
you know, like, so you still got that 1 in 100 shot, but that's the only
That's
avenue.
all you need.
You know, no one goes straight to Crass.
Right, exactly.
Unless they're a freak.
We've talked on a ton before. With any extreme genre of music or fringe genre, there's a road to get there.
Yeah. And, you know, we may be living in a world where Babymetal are the first brick in that road. Now, furthermore, the concept of kawaii metal is, if nothing else, interesting. It asks some fascinating questions about what exactly it means to be metal and what type of aesthetics, ideas, and emotions we can play with in this space. And I've always been fascinated by the idea of contradiction and paradox, and as such, I can appreciate what Koba Metal was trying to do. Again, we don't have a definitive answer of what it means to be metal, but like, can you be metal and be girly, and metal and still have fun, and metal and talk about chocolates? You know, it's worth at least exploring that, even if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I completely agree there.
Now, it should also be noted that Babymetal aren't the only group to toy with the idea of kawaii metal. I'm thinking in particular about a group called Lady Baby, which, and here, Cal, I'm going to say the thing that I always say, and I always hate saying, and I always keep mentioning how much I hate saying it, but you guys got to see this to believe it. So this is Cal, you have on your screen an image of the group Lady Baby, and just describe what we're looking at.
Dude, I'm fucking scared. I don't know what we're gonna hear. It is 2 Japanese girls,
young girls.
Yeah, like actual girls, and then 1 grown ass man dressed like a girl.
Yes, a grown white man in pigtails in a maid's outfit.
And you know, through my life experience, nothing good can come from this.
Yeah.
But well, I guess we'll find out.
All right. Well, we are going to play a single by Lady Baby called Nippon Manju.
That was better than I thought it was going to be. I'll give you that. I don't know though, dude. That was fun.
It is fun. I'm not saying it's not fun, but the visual of this is an order of magnitude more striking than the image of Babymetal. And for the record, that song that you just heard, that was like their first single. It came out like basically a year after Gimme Chocolate. So it's clear that like
they caught on.
They caught on. They're trying to like just do their own version of Babymetal. But the difference is that the central character in this group is a more than 6 foot muscular bearded white man speaking Japanese, dressed in a female maid's costume.
He's in the schoolgirl outfit doing all the little moves with them.
Yeah.
And it's not called out. like at all.
No, it's
you're
just-
just supposed to accept this.
Yeah, no, it's just like, it's just assumed to be a natural part of the organic experience. And
That was funny, man. My cheeks kind of hurt. I was laughing pretty hard.
it's funny as shit. And you know, Cal, like, just, I'm trying to be like the progressive guy that I am, but the image of that tall guy in pigtails
It's fucked
and the
up, man. I
beard
didn't like it.
and the dress, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
And I know that it's supposed to, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't make me uncomfortable, but it does.
A hairy man of that stature should not do those moves.
Yeah.
That's my boomer stance I'm taking on this.
No, just, I think to me, the thing that puts it over the top is the beard. The fact that he has a beard, looks like a lumberjack and is in that dress, and is wearing pigtails.
Yeah.
It's so, it
makes me uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable.
I don't know why.
But God bless him,
He is clearly having the time of his life. So
100%. So the guy that we're talking about, this group was founded in 2015 by an Australian pro wrestler named Richard Magray. Now, Magray had found success in the Hong Kong wrestling circuit, where he basically played a cross-dressing character, and then he kind of imported that character to Japan, which, of course, has a gigantic pro wrestling, world. And somehow, at some point, he got the idea to just do that in musical form, and it just took off with Lady Baby. So good for them.
yeah, whatever sells. Good for you.
Now, Cal, we won't get too much into this, but like, we talked about how the replaceability of the various members of Babymetal. Now, with Lady Baby, obviously, Richard Magray is the central figure of the group. It doesn't work without this like scary looking cross-dressing white dude in the middle of the stage. And yet, when he left the band in 2016, the group kept going. Like,
I can just like picture the producers like, just find another big ass white guy. Just go find them. They're out there.
no, they didn't do that. They just hired more women.
That's so weird.
Like, I mean, it worked well enough that like they kept putting out music. Like, I guess it's like these girls must have just been committed. Like, we're
so
never
funny.
ever getting a real job
How
ever.
did the fans explain this? Just like that first album, like, well, that was weird, and then they just move on.
I don't know.
That was a fever dream of a first record, but he's gone. And
It's like, well, I never actually watched the music videos. I only ever listened to the vinyl, but hey, yeah, just I just want to keep hearing the songs. So yeah, that's a weird case where what should have been an obvious end of the group somehow wasn't.
that's funny.
But Babymetal's success has also heralded an impressive rise in all-female rock and metal groups in Japan. These include highly talented bands like Love Bites, Nemophilia, Aldius, and one of my personal favorites, Hanabi. Yeah.
No, I'm glad you got this in here. I actually kind of like these bands a little more than Babymetal.
Oh, I would argue that every group I just mentioned is demonstrably better than Babymetal.
Yeah, and it's because they're not idol groups.
Yeah.
It just comes back to that. They are a traditional band. They're writing the songs and playing the instruments.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how much Babymetal deserve credit for like this kind of rise of female groups, but that song that you just heard was called "We Love Sweets," which is
there's no way they're not drawing a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, good for Babymetal if they have even 5% to do with that.
Yep.
So yeah, in a genre that's notoriously been a boys' club, it is quite refreshing to see female groups take the stage. For all we know, that actually is the future of metal.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, why not?
It's kind of funny. I think part of the reason metal's dying is it's hard to feel genuinely rebellious through music anymore.
Yeah.
And I think like the chest beating testosterone men, or even like the skate punk men, like metal just doesn't hit the same with the men in the newer generation.
Yeah.
Metal outside of Five Finger Death Punch, let's say.
Yeah, no,
And-
they get that out of country and certain types of hip hop.
Whereas I am meeting a lot more women than I used to. One of the weirdest ones, man, is they tend to like Norwegian black metal, which would seem like that's one of the more abrasive subgenres. You wouldn't think.
Yeah.
But I'm just, the whole point of this whole spiel is I'm seeing the rise of this. Women starting to actually appreciate chunks of metal that I would have thought to be untouchable.
No, I've seen that too, like for real. And yeah, we could debate, why that is. But I think they're getting out of it the same thing that men get out of it. Like
We're seeing their rise and their call to inner power.
Yeah, like aggression is something that everybody feels, and and especially like lyrics about torment, that's something that everybody feels, and it's a way of expressing, very deep, sincere emotions, and metal is fantastic at doing that. And once you remove like the kind of like pre-constructed labels and the archetypes that we have around these things, that like metal is just a dude doing bench presses in his bedroom, well, and
a lot of women have drugged to shows they finally realized most like traditional metal, the fan base is nerds. You are far less likely to get groped at a metal show than you are at fucking like Morgan Wallen or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I don't know, maybe that's part of why they're starting to like it.
No, yeah, it's like there's something like kind of like inherently progressive about it, like even with all the like Nazi shit in there.
Yeah, because again, that's just incels that happen to lead that band.
That was a weird offshoot, Now, as for Babymetal themselves, I've gone back and forth as to how I feel about them over the course of this series. At times, I've been dazzled by their audacity and their theatrical approach to music. At other times, I feel like the gimmick has gone on too long, although Muse will never admit that because there's too much money to be made, and the fans will never admit that because, frankly, they're in a cult. And sorry, guys, but you are.
Yeah.
But I think whether you love Babymetal or hate them, groups like Babymetal are the price we pay for having heavy metal in the first place. After all, this half-century-old art form is anything but static. It's home to a pantheon of heroes, a litany of storylines, countless controversies, and a simply psychotic number of subgenres. The power unlocked by this magic combination of aggressive chords and pounding beats will forever invite exploitation by those who wish to amplify it, accelerate it, warp it, distort it, confuse it, torment it, subvert it, and of course, commercialize it. Out of this Darwinian ecosystem, we will be blessed by innovative gems like Jism and Deer on Grey. We'll also get stuff like Babymetal, and we shouldn't be surprised when the latter drastically outsells the former. That's just the way things work, and only the Fox God knows why. That's it. That's all I have to say about Babymetal. And I think that last time that I said the name of the group is the time I finally pronounced it correctly.
Did it. Mission accomplished.
It only took 5 hours.
This is, I think, the first time we've really covered an artist that is big right now.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I don't know if we should again.
No, not gonna do Charlie XCX or not gonna do.
Yeah, because I just I don't know. My reasoning for that is just kind of like you're a little robbed of the hindsight you get when you cover an old artist.
That's true. Like perspective is extremely valuable, and one of my favorite things to do when doing series is kind of cover the way that memories of the past change over time, and perspectives about certain artists and certain situations and certain pieces of art change over time. And with Babymetal, we don't exactly know where that's going to land yet.
Right.
If we had done this series in 2015, it would have taken on a very different character than doing it right now.
Yeah.
But if we did it in 10 years, who knows what the fuck is going to happen? Maybe Sue Metal is the Prime Minister of Japan, for all the fuck we know. Or maybe, she swindles a bunch of people into a big MLM scheme, then gets sent to jail.
I don't know. All in all, man, I do feel like I learned a lot on this one, though. I didn't know shit about idols, really.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad I learned about that. And I did, for the record, see that Perfect Blue movie, which you were right.
That's a good movie.
Great fucking film. Watch it with the blinds closed.
Yes.
There's a.
You don't want to explain some of the scenes to your neighbors.
Yeah, it's like,
What is it about when it's a cartoon? It is so much less explainable than just a movie.
It's because of the.
It's like someone took the time to animate it. I think that adds like a weirdness to it.
If you did that in a proper film, there are plenty of essay scenes in movies that are considered high art because it's intended to like bring forth the dramatic seriousness of that thing. But people still, despite all of the advances, despite all the great anime and animation that's been done, people still like kind of latently associate anime and cartoons with children's entertainment.
Right.
I think that's it,
Right, and that's why when you're watching a cartoon essay,
it just feels really wrong.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, I don't know how I would explain this to a neighbor looking in my window.
Yeah, it feels really uncomfortable and fucked up when it's that.
Yeah.
But definitely watch the film anyway, in spite of all that. I'm just glad too that I got to listen to so much cool Japanese metal thanks to your recommendations,
dude. Yeah,
and the research we did. It
was a fun series.
I'd never heard Deer on Grey. I'd never heard Maximum the Hormone. Now I just listen to them regularly.
Japan is killing it.
Japan's fucking killing it. Great culture. I'm sorry I mispronounced so many of your words and butchered your culture in every possible way. But I want you to know that I love you guys, and maybe we'll cover some other bad music that you've made.
Yeah, tell us what band you think sucks.
Yes, actually, please do. Like, my call to the Japanese people: what do you hate, and why? All right. So, thank you guys for listening. If you've made it this far, definitely give us a like on the app of your choice, or if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment, subscribe, do all that things. We do playlists of each of the songs that you hear in our episodes on YouTube. We also like to add a few other videos in there for good measure. So just very fun to put on those playlists if you're working or, mowing the lawn or whatever. And, we like to give you guys special tips about how to, spread the word, spread the turd. And for this episode, I would suggest that if you are planning on committing a mass shooting sometime in the next couple of weeks, listen to Polishing Turds on one of the bullet casings, because that's apparently a thing that everybody does.
That's enough proof of your political beliefs.
Yeah. And then just email that directly to Kash Patel right before you, take somebody's life. Make it easy.
Yep. All right. My one this week was cattle brands.
That's a great idea.
Not just yourself. Just walk around branding people.
Just Why do you have to brand your neighbor's cattle that you own? Why can't you just walk around branding any cattle? You drive right by them. They're right there. They're sitting right there. Yeah. Just don't ask us to do it, because we're not as committed to our own podcast as you are. All right. Sayonara. And remember, who's going to win the World Series? Only the Fox God knows.
There you go.
probably the Dodgers.